This presentation looks at how to construct literature reviews, and in particular focuses on Assessment 2 for those students on Adult Nursing 2.
A literature review is a great way to bring lots of different research and theory on a particular topic together, and is used quite a lot in academic assessments. There are a number of things that constitute a good literature review, and similarly a lot of traps that are very easy to fall into. Make sure that in putting together your literature review, you're not simply writing a description of all the research that you come across. As with all of the critical writing that you'll do at Level 2, a literature review should include resources that are up to date and very relevant to your chosen topic. You'll undertake a critical analysis of the research, identifying the strengths and weaknesses within different types of literature. You'll also relate all the research that you read back to practice and think about potential implications.
Putting together a literature review is very much a process with lots of different stages. Initially, you'll need to spend time defining your search terms, looking at how to find the literature. You'll then search relevant databases and gather all of the material together. But then you'll also spend time critically reading that literature. It's also really important that you spend time planning what you're going to write once you've found all the literature and you've looked at the weaknesses, strengths, the way that the themes all come together. Spend a bit of time actually organising the structure. What will your review look like? Finding the right search terms when you're looking for literature takes time and practice. A lot of it's about tweaking your search terms so that you don't end up with loads and loads of results but nothing too specific. Equally, you can sometimes go too narrow and only end up with 2 or 3 papers. So really a lot of it's hit and miss, it's about practice. But also get to know the databases. For example, CINAHL, when you're putting in search terms, make sure you tick the box saying suggest subject terms. It'll then translate what you put in. For example, CINAHL doesn't use the term learning disability. It will substitute it with mental retardation and find you lots of papers on that subject. We would recommend that you make notes whilst you're doing your searching, and that way you can be methodical. You'll have a number of search terms and you'll want to search for them in different combinations. By the time you've done that to a couple of databases, you're actually doing an awful lot of searches and it's easy to forget what exactly you've done. If you make a note as you go through, you'll be able to make sure that you've searched absolutely everywhere, and you'll be able to write it up a lot easier as well. We would also recommend that you don't give too detailed a description of the process that you've used. The fact that you were sitting in the level 3 of the Saltire when you carried out your search isn't really as important as which databases you used and why, and what your search terms were. Also think about what kind of criteria did you use when deciding whether you included a reference or whether you discarded it. So that sort of critical issue is much more important. Also remember to use all of the skills you developed when writing Assessment 1. So think about the critical appraisal, the kind of questions you applied, the sort of critical evaluation you conducted on the one paper. It's really a case of doing that again, but to lots of different papers this time. And also remember to relate everything to nursing practice and the evidence base for it. If you look at the marking criteria, that's where you're picking up the most marks.